Welcome to video 2 of the Investing 101 series. If you missed last week's video where we talked about what it meant to invest, you can tap this I right here. But first, if this is your first time watching me, hello, my name is Gia. Welcome to my channel. Feel free to look around, make yourself at home, hit the subscribe button, join my YouTube family. So last week we talked about, like I said, investing, what it means to invest. And this week we're going to talk about what the stock market is and what stocks are. But first, I was reading some of your comments from last week's video, and one of the comments was that, you know, you were afraid of investing in the stock market, and you're around a lot of older people who still complain about losing so much money in Roth IRAs and everything that happened with the crash almost 10 years ago now. And I want to say this to you, or anyone else who feels that way. It's so important to invest because it's a way to really truly build wealth. Now, the stock market and the US stock exchange for the last 100 years, okay, has gone up and down and up and down, okay? There are times when people made a whole lot of money, and there were times where people lost money. But the key to it is that you stay in it and continue to invest, because the longer period of time you have, the more chances you will have to recover from a crash or a bear market. You've got to remember, when the market goes down, that's like everything being on sale. That's like the best time to buy. You know what I mean? And for people who experienced, because I know what happened in 2008 and 2009, 2010 even, I know it destroyed a lot of people financially, especially people who are getting ready to retire, and it was very, very unfortunate. But it's important to not be scared and to not invest anymore based on what happened to a lot of people in 2008 and 2009. Because you got to remember, those people who were close to retirement back then, they probably made a lot of money in the late 90s, in the mid 90s, if they were investing during that time. And what happened in 2008, like I said, it was unfortunate, but it's not a reason for you not to believe in the stock market and believe that wealth can really truly be built from there. Okay, so I just wanted to say that and mention that and throw that out there in case anyone feels that way or is scared or anything like that to invest in the stock market. I also want to say this: it is really important that you do not start investing until you become debt-free. To me too, the biggest things you could do is live a life full of debt and then not invest for your future. Those are the two biggest mistakes that people make financially, okay? So it's really important to pay off your debt, become debt-free. Download my free zero-based budget template down below, and you can also watch this video right here that will explain how to use it. But it's so important to become debt-free before you even think about investing. Once you become debt-free, it's so important to start investing, because that is where true wealth is built, guys. Okay, it's hard to build wealth just on these 3% or 5% raises that we get on our jobs. We can barely see these raises because of inflation. Because of the rate inflation, you can barely see the raise that you got in your bank account with cash. You know what I mean? So it's really important to use investing to build long-term wealth, because over a 30 or even 40-year period, you can accumulate so much wealth for your family. And you can even leave this wealth on to your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids. Okay, we want to leave generational wealth. We want to teach generational wealth. We don't want to teach generational debt or leave debt for our family to take care of once we leave this earth. Okay, and it's so important to be able to just relax in retirement and not feeling like you have to take a job because, you know, you're not going to be able to afford to just do basic living when you get older. Okay, it's so important to invest, and the younger you are to start, the better. But again, get your priorities in check, pay off your debt, start investing, and you will be on that road to financial freedom. Financial freedom will be attainable to you. It's so important. There are lots of different ways to invest. I mean, you can invest in real estate, but what we're going to talk about is really investing in the stock market and what stocks are. Now, again, I am hosting a class, an investing 101 class. It's investing for beginners, where I'll be discussing my asset allocation, my investment strategy, why I disagree with Dave Ramsey's advice. If you're interested and to know more about that, join the class. It's only $15. I mean, less than the price of 3 Starbucks coffees, I'm sure. And it's totally worth it. It's going to be jam-packed full of information. And if you can attend live, I'll be answering your questions live. But if you can't attend live, you know, the replay will always be available there for you, you know, if you purchase, you know, for the $15. So that's where I'm going to be diving deep and giving you guys my advice. But on my YouTube channel for this Investing 101 series, I'm just giving you the definitions, what things mean. Okay, and I'll leave my opinion more or less to what I think is best and the safest way to invest and the cheapest way to invest to my investing class. Today, like I said, we're going to be talking about what the stock market is and what stocks are. So let's start with stocks first. So what is a stock? The investment meaning of stock is a type of security that signifies ownership in a corporation and represents claim on part of the corporation's assets or earnings. So when you own stock, it's like an asset to you, meaning that it increases your net worth. So let's think of a major corporation, okay? This major corporation, let's say it's Google, okay, which is a publicly traded company. So think of Google as a big pizza pie, okay? And so when you invest in stock in Google, it's like buying a little sliver of a piece of pizza. That means you own that piece that you bought for the pizza, you own that piece, okay? That's like what stocks are. Buying shares in a corporation, it's like you own that piece. So buying shares and buying stock, it's kind of, you can use those terms intermittently. And so when you buy stock within a company, it's just like buying a piece of pizza. So the more stock you own, or the more stock you buy, the bigger your piece of pizza is, okay? So that's how it is when someone says they're buying stock in a company. Now, you can only buy stock in a publicly traded company. That means they're publicly on the stock market and you can buy stocks and shares of them. Now, if it's a private company, you cannot buy or trade stock in a private company. Now, where do you buy stock? Well, you buy stock in the stock market. So what is the stock market? A stock market is a stock exchange. It's a place where you can buy or sell stock. That's simple. So that's where you go and buy and sell your stock or stock within a company or within index funds or mutual funds or anything like that. You buy that in the stock market. And again, I'm only talking about the American stock market, okay? If you're in a different country, I'm sorry, I'm not well versed in international stock exchange. There are 2 places you can buy stock. You can buy stock at Nasdaq, and Nasdaq is an American stock exchange. It's the second largest in the world behind the New York Stock Exchange, okay? And the New York Stock Exchange is an American stock exchange, and it's the largest in the entire world. Okay, their capital is worth more than any other stock market in the entire world is the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so that's what those 2 are. So you've probably seen these symbols before. That is where you go to buy and sell stock. Okay, it's that simple. That's what those terms mean. Okay, so in next week's video, we're going to talk about the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, what those are. Again, if you want to get a deeper class into like how you need to start, what kind of accounts you need to buy, what you need to invest in that's safe and that's cheap, and that, you know, again, I'm not a licensed broker, so I'm not going to be selling you anything. I'm not going to be, you know, this is strictly my personal opinion. I'm not guaranteeing anything with this $15 course. It's just me sharing what has worked for me and my family as I manage our investments in our home. Okay, we do invest outside of our 401ks. Charles and I both have a 401k, each have a 401k with our jobs, and then we also invest separately. And so that's what I manage, and I also look over our 401ks and stuff like that. So I'll be diving deep in the class, the $15 class, about, you know, 401ks, IRAs. We're gonna talk about mutual funds, index funds, all of that. But I'm gonna make sure that it's digestible for you guys, that it's easy to understand, and you don't come out of the class feeling overwhelmed. You'll have it step by step what you need to do, okay? So make sure you look into it. It's gonna be May 17th at 11 a.m. But again, if you cannot make it live, the replay will be available to you and the link will be down below. If you have any questions, leave them down below. But do you guys invest in, do you guys own any stock? Do you buy any stock outside of your 401ks or your 403bs? Do you buy any stock on your own? Do you invest in the stock market at all? I would love to know. Leave your comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, tap my picture up above, and you can also check out my previous video right over here, and all my social media platforms all listed down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.